Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and we have an all new episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves. We are coming to you live today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about something very important today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about we are going to talk about one of the most important things that you can do to get your business up and running, to keep your business up and running, to make all the money you want, to establish a business, to establish a presence. Ladies and gentlemen, you need courage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was reading the Bible yesterday, and I was reading from the book of Esther, ladies and gents. And Esther, the book of Esther is a very courageous chapter in the Bible. It talks about Esther, how Esther was picked to be the wife of a king, and her uncle was one of the leaders of the Jewish community, Mordecai, and a guy named Haman wanted to kill all the Jewish people, of course. And Esther, being Jewish, with her uncle Mordecai, Mordecai said, "Hey, you need to talk to the king." And she was like, "I don't know." And she could have just said, "You know what? I'm comfortable. I'm a queen now. I'm in the castle. I don't need this. I don't need these headaches. I don't need all this, all that." And so she could have just said, I'm good. Get out of here. But she did not. She said, "You know what? I will talk to the king. I will try to correct this." And of course, Esther, she had dinner with the king, and she was like, "You want to grant me a request? You know, meet my uncle, talk to my uncle." And basically, instead of all of the Jewish people in their community getting killed, the guy Haman, he was hung, and Esther and Mordecai lived happily ever after. But I'll tell you this short story, and it's a very, very summarized story. If you wanna go and read the book of Esther, you're more than welcome to. You know, but I'll tell you that because, ladies and gentlemen, when you get you know when you get to be a certain age, sometimes you get to the point where you wanna you're like, "No, I don't wanna do anything different. I don't wanna rock the boat. I don't wanna do anything courageous." Okay? Why? Because you have gotten quite comfortable. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? It happens. You get a job, you're making 50,000 a year, you're comfortable. You go, "I don't want to rock the boat." You you live in this tiny place. You don't really care for it, but it works. And you go, "You know what? I don't want to rock the boat." We all can be courageous. We all can say, "Hey, I want to, you know, where do you want to live? What do you want to do? How much do you want to make?" Ladies and gentlemen, it's all right there for you. There's no there's nothing to hold you back. There's no, it doesn't your race does not matter, your ethnicity does not matter, if you're a woman, that does not matter. A man, does not matter. It does not matter, you know, especially as an American, does not matter what part of the America you live in. You don't have to move to New York to become successful. You don't have to move to Chicago or Atlanta. You can live in Sheboygan. You can live in M- Muskogee, Oklahoma. Okay? You can live in Texarkana. It does not matter. Wherever you live, you can make it. You can start what you want to start. You can be courageous. Does not matter. Um, Courage is in all of us. Sometimes some people we don't tap into it, you know, and it's more. it's easier to look like you're important than to actually be important. Now, we are all important in the eyes of the Lord. Don't get me wrong. Okay. We are all great. We are all wonderful. We are all everything's hunky dory. But on this earth, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make an impact, if you want to be heard, if you want to be seen, you have to step up, you have to step out, and you have to be courageous, and you have to be bold, and you have to be daring. It does not matter what you want to do, whether you want to run a business, where you want to invest your money in the internet, invest your money in the stock market. It does not matter. If you want to buy a bunch, if you want to become a real estate magnate, it does not matter what you want to do. It does not matter. If you want to date somebody and you think, oh, they're out of my league. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody is out of nobody's league, okay? If you want to date that woman, you want to date that man, hey, go for it, okay? It's far too many times in your life where you can have you ever been somewhere and it's very windy and you stand up and the wind is just hitting your face and hitting your face, and it's like, especially if you ever just stood out there and it's like a dirt lot, and it's just the wind, and the wind comes up and it's just dirt, and it's just little things hitting you, little particles just hitting you in your face. You could turn around, you could duck, you could do all that, or you could just stand there, and you know what will happen? It'll stop. The wind will blow, and eventually it'll stop, and you're still standing there, very strong, very like, hey, I am here. And that's how you got to be when it comes to business. That's how you got to be when it comes to life. You got to be courageous. You can't, far too many times we we go the safe route. And you know what, ladies and gents, in the last year, my mother-in-law passed away last year. On this day, as a matter of fact, she passed away. And my father-in-law, he just passed away a few days ago. And the more as I get older, and we are out here, creating content, doing podcasts, changing careers, and doing the copywriting, doing the marketing, and just you know taking on new things. I advise all of you, because at the end of the day, it does not matter. We are all listen. We are all born the same way. Okay, some of us are born. We are all listen. We are all we are all born the same way. We are born. We come from a woman. Okay, she gives birth. You know, you pop out. You pop out. You're a baby, and you grow and you mature and all that. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to walk. You learn how to talk. You learn how to do all that. And we are all going out the same way, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we are all gonna pass. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. However you say that. Doesn't matter if you're 25, you're 45, you're 85, you're 95. Uh, my wife's aunt lived till she was 106. She lived a full life. Even when she was 100 years old, she came to our house and she spent Christmas with us. She was walking around, walking down this flight of steps. 100. She was just walking around, moving and grooving. Okay, but 106. She passed away, but she lived to 106. What I'm telling you is, and she was 106, and so 106 out of 2,025 years. You do the math. We are gonna be gone a lot more than we are gonna be alive on this earth. So have the courage to pursue your goals, pursue your dreams, have the courage to stand out there, stand among, be a giant in the world of what people are like. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm scared. Because there's a lot of people nowadays. There are a lot more people that seem to be unhappy with their lives then they are happy with their lives. That's why we have so much, drug use and medication and alcohol, all this and all that. At the end of the day, what are you going to do to pursue your goals? What are you going to pursue to your dreams? Because that self, the things that you can do for yourself are going to make you the happiest in your life. No, hey, listen, I love my wife. My wife, she gives me joy. I'm very happy to be married to her. I'm very happy to be her husband. But I if I if I am not making myself happy, then I can't be a good I can't be and what I mean by happy is, listen, I have a life, okay? I told myself I don't want to be a truck driver no more. So we are gonna switch that. We're gonna change that. And we are changing that. Okay? This is the last month. We are changing that. I told myself I want to write, and we have been writing, and that makes me happy, you know? And it's not about, you know, oh, I need this and I need that. No. This is my life, and in your life, you can't escape. Trying to escape with medication and alcohol and drugs, it's not gonna do you no good because you're gonna wake up and you're still gonna be saddened by whatever it is that makes you sad. Okay. So this is your life. And if you want to make your life as great as you want it to be, and if there's some things that you want to do, there are things that places that you want to go, then make it happen. Go see those places. Go do those things. It's not about 24/7, me being happy. It's like, hey, you, is how is your life? Is your life good? Does your life how are you doing what you want to do in your life? Okay? And if you're not, then you need to reevaluate and see what you can do to take on the task of doing things, creating things, being things that you want to be. Okay, listen. If you want to be a police officer, and that job gives you joy, then by all means be a police officer. Do that. It does not. People put too much emphasis on money. Yes, money. Listen, having money is a lot better than having no money. But at the same time, there are plenty of people that kill themselves and they have buku's monies. Okay, what you want to do is create the life that you want. Okay, and it is very possible to do that. What do you want to do? Do you want to, do you want to get paid playing video games? Set up a Twitch stream or whatever they do to do the video games. Start that. Start that and see where that takes you. And you're playing the game and you're happy, and if you can generate money from that, then by all means do that. Now there are some things that, of course, that we all know that you do that might not generate money. I play Sudoku every day. Every day I play one puzzle. I got a puzzle book of Sudoku, Sudoku. Or there's Sudoku tournaments. I don't know. I've never looked it up. Maybe if there are, maybe I'll enter one of these days. Because I enjoy playing Sudoku. I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind seeing where I'm at if I could beat somebody else, in a time thing or whatever. So that's just me. It brings me joy. I do it like one or two puzzles a day. I do it, and then I go on about my life. That makes me happy. I'll talk to my brother every now and then. He stays up all night sometimes, and he plays the game every now and then. I go, well, that's cool. I can't see myself staying up all night playing a video game, but I can see myself in the future playing a game every blue moon. Buying the PlayStation 5 in the future. Once I get to establishing my full 100% work from home business. Okay. Once we get that established, then we will look into the video game. But goals, goals. But I will tell you like this: writing, podcasting, you know, it 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 makes me it makes me feel good knowing that I'm doing things that I want to do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the courage to step out, the courage to say, I've had enough of this. If you're in a bad relationship, you got to have the courage. It's not about, oh, I'm dependent on them for this, that, and the other. You God makes a way for everybody. Okay, not to be preachy to you, but if you think I need this person to live XYZ, you can always live somewhere else. You can always live in a one bedroom. You can always live in the studio. When I first moved to Atlanta, I started off in a small. When I first moved to Atlanta, I lived in the truck the first 2 years. The first 2 years I lived in the truck, and then I got an apartment. I got a little studio apartment. It's a very nice place, and yeah, I took it from there. Okay, and so it was courage. It was courage. I came on the bus with a duffel bag, and you know that was it. Duffel bag full of clothes, and went to go work at a trucking company. And I was like, all right, we living in Atlanta now. We took it from there, and we done all right. And I tell you all that just to say the courage. Sometimes, ladies and gents, you just need the courage to really get started because you know enough. The more I look into things and the more I study things, it's just like you know enough. It's just about doing it. It's just about taking the action and doing it. So, ladies and gents, courage. Okay, you got you can get plenty of it, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. You can always email me at tony@tonyrizzano.com. But until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, everybody, peace.